Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today you are going to get to see how we took this engine and subframe out of the front of here. And with our special guest Max helping us out, today you're going to see how we managed to get that engine and subframe out of the front of this Mini. Stay tuned. We literally almost died getting this out. Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'd like to share a big fat welcome to a special guest on today's episode who's also called Max. And interestingly enough, we also have the same job, and interestingly enough, we both restore classic cars. So having him on board was an amazing help for today's project, which is to drop out the front subframe and the engine as one unit. Despite how much we managed to strip off the Mini so far, there are a few jobs left to do, like you just saw Max do there, take off the front shock absorber. We still have quite a lot of the suspension components that do need to come off in order for us to be able to remove the front subframe with the engine still bolted in. So to start with, what you're about to see is Max disconnect the brake lines from the back of the brake drums. This is done by 2 nuts and a lock washer, which was on there solid again thanks to all the rust. And basically taking the brake line, putting it inside this container, then I am going to go into the car, pump the brake pedal and push the remainder of the brake fluid into that little container. What this does is drain the rest of the brake system. That way then on the inside and the outside of the car we can disconnect all the brake lines in the hopes that we don't get too much fluid everywhere all over the floor. Thankfully it went pretty smoothly. Well, apart from a couple little connections down here in the bottom of the front subframe, but thankfully we have Max, who is a lot more determined and patient than I ever am, meaning that he was able to finally disconnect the last of the brake lines just from the bottom of the front subframe there, which is an easy job. The wok, as it's commonly known, really gets in the way of any kind of spanner that you're trying to get into there. But again, Max is super patient, super determined, and gently, little twist by little twist, managed to get all of it disconnected. Thanks for that, Max. You did a way better job on that than I ever could. So this last brake line simply runs from the brake master cylinder all the way down to the little connectors at the front of the subframe. Last few twists and that's all the brake lines disconnected. Alright, moving on, and Max is undoing the 2 nuts that hold up the gear linkage housing. Undoing these 2 nuts will allow that housing to basically drop out from underneath the car, which means when we finally drop out the front subframe, it will all come out as one unit still attached to the gearbox. Moving on to the front of the Mini, and Max is going to disconnect the nut and 2 bolts that hold the rubber bushes and the front subframe to the front bumper of the car.
It's coming, it's just covered in paint.
Yeah. These are pretty easy accessible, but again, with our Mini, nothing is very easy. It was completely rusted up, and because the rubber was perished, these nuts and bolts simply would not budge. It took a lot of brute strength, a lot of determination, and again a lot of patience from Max. So again, thank Max. I think I'd have lost patience, just ripped it out.
I tell you what, you hold your side. I think it's my side from here, so you hold your side. Is it my side on here? Yeah, yours is alright. That's easy. I'll do the rest of the... That's it. Woo! Hey!
Same setup both sides, one on the left side, one on the right side, disconnect both. Tantalisingly close now to watching this engine and subframe drop out the front of the car. With those disconnected, we then move on to the nuts and bolts at the back of the subframe. On our car, the mounting plates that would normally be at the back of the subframe are completely missing, so are some of the nuts and bolts. One thing you won't see us do is disconnect the 2 big bolts that hold the subframe up at the towers. Again, on our little Mini, they were completely missing. Now everything's disconnected on paper. Let's see if we can get this subframe out of the car. So it's about now where we discovered that at some point in its life, the Mini's had its front subframe spot welded to the inner wings in order to make it all fit in. Easy fix, simply just going around the front of the car on these little spot welds with a hammer and a flat blade screwdriver as a chisel, and just prising away the wing from the front subframe.
Anyway, attach the subframe. Nope. No, you've got to get You're up. There we go.
So with all those spot welds now chiseled away, sort of, with a flat blade screwdriver, we are trying to crack on with getting the front subframe dropped out of the car. which ended up not being the easiest process in the world. It kept getting stuck on things, it kept getting wedged. I think because this Mini at some point has definitely had a front end twist or maybe a bump, So we're just going around and gently persuading the front of the car to come out with hammers and chisels and pry bars and crowbars. Just trying to get the whole thing to drop out of the front of the car. It did take a team effort, kept having to raise and lower the jack, basically trying to force this subframe out of whatever it was stuck on, which we couldn't figure out for ages. We did realise that it was definitely stuck on something on this right hand side, we just couldn't figure out what. As far as we were concerned, everything was disconnected and there was no bolts left to undo to get this front subframe out. So we resorted to being men and bashing it with a hammer until it did something, which ended up actually working out really well. So you can see at the top of the tower, it was simply just wedged in there. For whatever reason, we couldn't get this part of the tower to unstick from the front of the car. You can see as well that the tower bolts at the very top of the struts, which are the big bolts that run through the front of the car, into the top of the tower of the subframe and into the top of the suspension to hold it all together, are completely missing off the car. So it's not those that are stuck.
Ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Here goes now. Alright. Stop. Over on. Okay. And now, it's not even on the rack yet, so it's completely out here almost. Yeah. The weird thing is this side's got pins. Yeah. You see how that side doesn't have pins? Oh yeah. So what else is it caught on then? Because it's free from everywhere. No, I think it's still got pins into it. They're not come out yet. I think it's just going to drop. But that's just guidance pins. That's. So bring this side up again. So I can get it straight. There we go. Hey! Right, ready? I'm going to drop it up. Yeah. Is that out? I think so. No. Oh, hey! Oh, it's on my foot.
Better not be.
No, it's off now. Hey! Well done.
So that front subframe was super stuck. But let's check in with Future Max to see exactly why it was so stuck. Hi guys, Future Max checking in here. I just thought it would be easier to show you now why the front subframe wouldn't come out. Something that we missed, it was unfortunate, but kind of not. We didn't think it was there because everything else was missing basically. But let me show you the top of the subframe and you'll see why we struggled to get that subframe out of the car. And this is the removed subframe, and you can just see that we had these two, I guess, guide arms is the best thing I can call them. And you can see how unbelievably rusty the whole thing was. We also had the plate here. Everything was just rusted together. These are so rusted that they just wouldn't budge out the car. So it took a lot of bashing and getting a crowbar in there and trying to pull them apart. But eventually it all came out. Might be like my scrap pile. Once we managed to pretty much prize it, the weight of the whole engine and subframe together sort of did the rest of the work for us. So it did fall out. But yeah, we got there in the end.
Oh, whoops, rusted. Sealed together, that's why it was never coming out.
As well.
This is nice and clean though.
All of this.
How weird, and that side's not got any, that's the confusing part.
Yeah.
Right, so then how do you want to get the...
Well, I'm just going to leave you in charge of the jack.
Yeah.
You're just going to drag it towards here. I'm going to gently lift the front of the mini up. I'll tell you what, why don't you jack it up and I'll put the wheels on?
No, because then it'll... it's not over the centre of mass, it'll go like that.
Yeah,
oh, I see what you mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
You'll just be able to drag it out a bit easier.
Ready?
Yeah. You might need to tighten it up.
So the idea I was pitching to Max there was basically to put the wheels back onto the front subframe. I was kind of hoping that this might have made it a little bit easier to try and wheel the front subframe out of the front of the car.
More, a bit more. Ah, you're in. You can get it. That's it now. There you go.
And to be fair, after attaching the wheel and having a look at how we would get the car out if we had to, realistically this idea was good, but we couldn't really make it work. We needed two people to lift the front of the car, and we had to lift it crazy high to get it over the engine because of the front wheel still being attached. Some people might call that foreshadowing. So long story short, Max had the bright idea of, nah, that's probably not going to work. Let's take the wheel off and try a different solution.
I actually take the wheel off. I think take the wheel off because that's not going to help.
I just thought it'd be easier to roll.
Yeah, I know. You can lift it out. I'm just going to kick it out. Oh, I was going to put that under it. That was it. That side, that side?
Yeah. That's where
That's it!
There you
I can roll, if you can lift it for just enough, I can pull that out quick. No.
We now started moving on to figuring out how to actually slide out the front subframe from under the car with the engine still attached. Measuring up to see how we could get this done. Basically just sort of tried to lift it, move the engine a little bit, see what the clearance is like and decide what we're going to do. This led us to making the decision that the best thing to do would be to lift the front of the car up and over the engine whilst one of us drags the engine out of the way.
Like, it's rolling like that, I want to change. Why don't, hang on, if I lift it,
Well, no, hold on.
just to see.
So we decided to try and move the car up a little bit more to give us a bit more clearance, and you just saw Max there remove the last of the steering rack. This is where things started to take a little bit of a turn. And what you're about to see is a string of mistakes made by me that were pretty unfortunate to make, and if it wasn't for Max this could have turned out way worse than it actually did.
Right, it's not restricting it, at least.
I think I can lift it. If you can pull that, I think I can get it up just enough, quickly enough. I'm willing to give it a go.
Ready? You need to move your right foot though. Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. Right, get it out quick. I'm holding it. I'm holding it. Yeah. Go, go. Bollocks.
It's alright. We'll figure it out.
This was a terrible idea. Oh, why didn't we think this was a good idea? You're out. Right, it's still rolling, I think.
It's alright, it's alright. The jack. You're at the end there, so.
So is it just the jack's holding it up now? Oh. I can walk it back if there's nothing behind.
No, you're good.
Yeah? Oh.
Right, let go. Drop it down.
Drop it?
Drop it
It's
down.
going to be at an angle now. That's the problem, I can drop it on the floor. I don't like you being under there.
No. Go for it. Drop it down, drop it down. Just drop it down.
It's resting. Woo! That was dumb. That was fucking dumb. I think, genuinely speaking right now,
Whoa.
would be better to be on the floor so it's not twisted.
Yeah.
Resting on the front. Maybe
That's the plan, I just wanted to
we
get
can
that.
put the tyres down and we'll rest it on the front on the tyres.
That's why I just wanted to get that, so you could let go of it.
Kids, if you're watching, don't do that.
Try not to do it like that at home. Jesus Christ.
That could have definitely ended way worse than it actually did. So now let's slow the footage down and then we can see all the mistakes that were made that led to the car almost collapsing onto the floor. So the first mistake was actually having the car up on a ramp with a downslope that was in the direction that the car would be travelling in. However, the handbrake was on. Clearly, didn't do a very good job. The second mistake came shortly after the jack slipped out from underneath the sun guard on the engine, which was the only way of pulling out the engine at the time. So I rushed, grabbed the front subframe and gave it a yank. And finally, the third mistake was because I was looking down at my hands on the front subframe, I didn't notice this oil cap that was stuck on the front bumper.
Yeah, I hope that was recorded because that was brilliant.
That was brilliant. Holy shit!
The problem was, it would have worked, but
The oil cap.
the oil cap got caught. Of course it did.
Just one thing.
Literally,
Should have taken rocket cover off, that means that. No. Fuck it. It's out now.
So let's get this in a stable position then.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with this?
I'm gonna literally drop it down set it on tyres. Because I don't need, now it's done, that's done, that's the majority of the work.
You can roll that around as it is on the back wheels. Yeah. Did anything get damaged at the back?
No, you can.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, get that jack out or get that jack up.
Yeah, well, we can sort of slowly lower it down onto there. Yeah. And then slowly lower it down from the front as well.
Okay. I don't mind lifting it up while you...
No, what we'll do is we'll use the weight of that jack now and just let it slowly bring that piece of wood down.
Okay, so
I'm just jack it out like a notch at a time.
What I'll do is I'll support it here so it doesn't go like that or like that.
Yeah, well, just support it until it's on
the ground, on the tyres.
On there. And then we can lower it down gently onto the tyres.
Yeah, you put them on here.
Yeah. I shot the back wheel so at least it won't roll.
Okay, good. Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
And I'm just thinking about that now, like, oh, that was dumb. That was so dumb.
As the saying goes, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and Max isn't wrong. The way we did it was incredibly dumb. Well, it was kind of a good idea, just really bad execution. Would I do it again like this? Definitely not. I would strongly suggest either buying a ramp if you've got the space, a proper ramp where you can lift the car into the air, or getting an engine crane and, you know, doing it the long way around where you take the engine out first. But if you ever needed proof that we are amateurs and not mechanics, that's exactly what that was. But you have to cut some slack, we're no mechanics, we are doing this for the first time. And the positives that we can take away from this is that we can now learn from these mistakes. If you do take on this project and decide to remove the front subframe and engine out of any vehicle, I strongly suggest do your research, make sure you got everything in place, and try not to make the same mistakes we made. So after nearly killing my friend Max, and apparently needing to take a break by laying on my side and watching him do the rest of the work, we do finally secure the car. We just basically allow the car to drop down onto his wheels, which is a really easy thing with a Mini. They're super light and the wheels will just stop the body from laying on the floor and getting rusty.
On the corners.
So we could put the wheels like that. They won't damage them too much.
Is that going to... But it sounds like there's stuffing on them.
No, they're fine, because they're set in the tyre. They're not... The tyre goes wider than the rims, you know what I mean? Because again, we're going to get new wheels anyway.
Okay. We're coming down?
Yeah, go for it. Slowly. Watch your head. Slowly. Watch the back.
Okay. Good. Oh. Settling.
Yeah.
We're down. That's it. Down.
I think it's all on that tyre, because look.
No! Good God.
It's alright.
That's how warped it is. Do you want me to pop it back up so you can stick it back under?
Nah, that's good.
Sure?
Yeah.
Shall we get these on there again, see?
Man, that was mint. That was absolutely mint.
That was terrible.
That was brilliant.
One unbelievably challenging day, but finally with the car secure, let's have a look at this engine and subframe. Okay, now we've got this engine out with the front subframe, we can finally have a decent look around and see what we're dealing with. And straight away, the first observation is that the engine needs a really good cleaning. I don't think it's had any TLC for a long time. The second thing that you can see pretty much straight away is just how unbelievably rusty the whole front subframe is. The most concerning thing about the front subframe is this long crack along the back that has obviously been sort of patch weld repaired at some point. It's all twisted and mangled and it's kind of giving me the vibes that it might have been in a bump at some point. So definitely in need of a front subframe. Looking at the rest of the engine, it looks pretty good, it looks pretty tidy, but even so, I think it's going to be a good idea to strip the engine and give it some really good TLC because I strongly believe it hasn't had any for a very long time. And after seeing what we got up to, Caity was not very best pleased with us. Sorry babe, I promise next time I'll try not to run ourselves over.
Hey everyone, it's Caity back. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the Max duo trying to flatten themselves, getting the subframe and engine out of our Mini, please like, subscribe, comment down below on tips on how nobody else will ever do that again. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.